Every document Claude has written for you since August 2nd has a hidden watermark inside it. And your company is about to get the tool that reads it. Anthropic confirmed it in an updated support page on August 11th. It is an invisible watermark added into the text itself, and it doesn't stay in the chat window. It writes along when you copy and paste into your design documents, your pull request descriptions, the incident write-up you sent to your VP at 11 p.m. at night, and the performance self-review that you were so dreading to write. But here's the thing. There is no detector for it today. Anthropic says the one is definitely coming. So somewhere out there is a pile of marked documents with your name on them sitting in your company's systems, waiting for a tool that does not exist yet to read them all. To understand what got watermarked, you have to first understand what a mark is. It is not a tag stapled to a file or not a little label saying made by AI. Nothing gets attached to your document at all. When Claude writes something, it's choosing between words that it's coming up with that, normally would work together. Before August, that choice was fairly random. Now, it follows a pattern, hidden across the whole document. Here's Anthropic's own words. The model weaves an imperceptible watermark directly into the text itself. You can't see it, software can. So the tag isn't wrapped around the words. It is the words. Hey, I'm Edna. I read the actual top AI tech news, so you find out what they cost you before your manager does. So this watermark doesn't only apply to the chat window. Anthropic support page lists Claude code, the API, Cowork, and even Claude tag. And it is applied at the model level, not the app, worldwide. So it doesn't matter where you live. Anthropic is straight about it, the limitations of this though. Heavy editing can knock down that watermark. So can paraphrasing. And so can translating. Short passages might not carry enough signals to read it at all. So you may ask how much editing is enough to remove it, basically. Nobody knows. TechCrunch's Ivan Mehta put it really nicely, explained it really nicely. It's not clear how much editing users need to do to remove the watermark. Most of the writing you get judged on already lives in your repo, right? The design docs, the architecture design decisions, the PR descriptions, which means Claude code is already reading them. So at the end of this video, I will walk you through one file that lets Claude work on all of it without ever generating a sentence that ships under your name with that watermark in it. But the twist here has to land first, and the fix won't make sense unless we clear this up. So who does the watermarking strategy catch? Your initial instinct might be, well, the cheaters, the person who typed one sentence into Claude, got back 4 pages, and shipped it under their name. But the opposite is actually true here. Anthropic says it themselves in the limitation section of their own support page. A detected mark signals the content was processed by Claude, and it is not fully conclusive. And they say Claude may not be the original author. They spell out what they mean, right? People use Claude to proofread, to translate, to summarize. And the output carries the watermark even when the idea and the text came from somewhere else, from the original human author, which is you. The text was yours. Every idea in it was yours. You pasted it into Claude, asked Claude to proofread it and catch all the bad wordings, pasted it back for you, you took it and used it, and now that is watermarked. Now imagine the other scenario. Someone generated the whole thing with Claude, then rewrote it heavily in their own voice because they just didn't like the tone that Claude used. And Anthropic's own list of reasons a mark goes missing includes exactly that case. Text that's been heavily edited, paraphrased, or mixed with other writing. So that document then comes back clean. The careful engineer who wrote their own docs and used Claude for a polish back pass gets flagged. The engineer who generated the whole thing with Claude and rewrote it walks. But your company won't see any of that. The tool your employer eventually installs will not return a paragraph of caveats. it will return a percentage. And somebody in a room you're not in will treat that number as a fact about you. That is the threat here. Not that you get caught doing something wrong, but that the tool makes a mistake and the mistake always lands on you. So why now? August 2nd. That is the date the European Union's transparency rules kicked in. Article 50 of the EU AI Act, which says if a machine made this content, mark it so other machines can't tell. Anthropic signed the code of practice for this. So did Meta, Microsoft, and OpenAI. It wasn't a change of heart. It was a deadline that they were given. Now, compare that to the two companies who could have done this anytime they wanted. Google's been watermarking its AI images since 2023 and expanded to text, audio, and video. OpenAI is the interesting part here, though. They already watermarked images, just not the text. And it's not even because they can't, right? Back in August 2024, the Wall Street Journal reported that OpenAI had a working method to reliably detect when someone used ChatGPT to write an essay and hadn't released it yet. The project had been stuck in internal debate for roughly 2 years. It's 2026 now. So look at what actually gets marked. Images everywhere for years because a marked image costs nobody their job, but text does. And they only turned it on when the regulators forced it. Because text is the thing you get graded on. The mark on your work isn't a safety feature. It's paperwork. It exists because European regulatory set a deadline, and nobody in that argument is thinking about the engineer whose design document is now evidence. So let's fix that, right? We can do that ourselves. One file in your project folder, and the feature's already, I promise you, on your machine. The expert move is to stop letting Claude write anything. Make it tell you what's wrong instead, and fix it yourself in your own words. Claude Code has input styles. An input style rewrites Claude's system prompt, which is its standing orders for how it behaves on every single prompt and turn. So instead of asking it nicely each time and hoping it sticks, you set the rule once and it holds it. Make a folder in your repo. Call it .claude/output-styles. Drop in a markdown file in it. Call it something like reviewer.md. And then on top of that, add 3 lines for the settings. Name reviewer, description, critique only, never draft. And keep coding instructions set to true. So Claude still behaves like an engineer on everything else but the output. Below that, you write the actual rules. Never rewrite anything for me. Point at the problem, don't fix it. Tell me which claim has no evidence behind it, which paragraph buries the point, which number has no source, which sentence a skeptical reader would stop on it. Say all of this in my own words back to me when you flag something. Now switch to it. Run /config, pick output style that you have, choose reviewer, for example. One more thing, and it's the step people always skip. Output style is part of the system prompt, and Claude Code reads that once the new session starts. So run /clear or start a new Windows session first. Otherwise, you're still talking to the old Claude that hasn't taken these changes in effect. Don't let the next corporate update be a surprise for you. Hit subscribe button now so you're the first to know. And as a thank you, meet my dog Kaden with 0 AI anxiety and 100% job security. Now that you know your work is getting marked, watch this next video to continue learning.